Let's bring in the former ambassador to NATO, Doug Lute. Mr. Lute, thank you so much for your time tonight. We've seen the horrific images coming out of Ukraine, and today President Biden announced a new round of sanctions coming after authorizing $100 million more in weapons to Ukraine. In your opinion, which lane is more important to help end this war? More sanctions or more weapons?
Well, the sanctions are not going to stop this war. The sanctions are designed to impose a cost on the Putin regime and on the Russian state. But we won't be able, in any time soon, to amass sanctions sufficient to actually cause this war to end. The war is going to be won on the ground and in the air in Ukraine. And therefore, the most important form of support is to continue, as the administration announced, with this extra $100 million of support, continue to support them with the military means that Ukraine needs to combat the Russian invasion. That's where the war is going to be won.
So hard to watch. It's incredible that it's gone on for this long. Now, NATO has stayed relatively united throughout this war, and NATO ministers even met today in Brussels. But now, weeks into this conflict, there are some cracks that are starting to show, especially as countries weigh their dependence on Russian oil and trade. How would you rate NATO's cooperation so far, and why is it so important to keep this unified front?
Well, I'd rate NATO's solidarity as historically good right now. I think the alliance has done a great job. It has marshaled the sorts of military assistance to Ukraine that Ukraine has used effectively on the ground so far. It has contributed to the humanitarian assistance effort, now over 4 million Ukrainian refugees. And it has, most importantly, stayed together politically and spoken as one. You know, it's not easy to get any group of 30, and here you have the 30 NATO allies, to come to consensus and stay together in the face of a war on NATO's doorstep. But, you know, there's more to be done.
It is pretty remarkable that these countries have stayed together. I'm glad that you said that. It's very impressive. But if this conflict does drag on for years, how tenable is it to keep sanctions against Russia when so many European countries rely on their oil?
Well, look, the European Union arguably has a problem here. It's stuck on a dilemma. And the dilemma is that their reliance on a very unreliable source of energy. So not only oil, but natural gas and coal as well. Now, the European Union has taken some initial steps that suggest that perhaps by the end of the year, they'll reduce their reliance on Russian natural gas and so forth. But look, there are no quick fixes here. You can't reverse 30 years of energy dependence on Russia in 30 days or 30 weeks.
You've worked so closely with NATO for years. In your opinion, will there ever be a time or an opportunity for Ukraine to be a part of NATO?
Well, look, actually, the NATO treaty itself holds the answer to your question. And what the treaty says in Article 10, and this is, of course, a treaty that was agreed originally all the way back in 1949, is that any European state that aspires to be a member of the alliance is eligible if it meets certain criteria. The challenge right now is that Ukraine does not meet those criteria. And the criteria that's most problematic today for Ukraine is the political criteria that all the current members of the alliance, so the current 30 members, the 30 NATO allies, must all agree on Ukrainian membership so that things can change. And certainly the Ukrainian people, the Ukrainian nation, are proving that they can defend themselves.
And that membership to NATO is something, of course, that Russian President Vladimir Putin is trying to prevent. Ambassador Doug Lute, thank you so much for your time tonight. We appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.